Bourbon. Belts. Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to another episode of the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon Belts and Blockbusters. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Tim, and I'm glad you're back.
Hell yeah, brother. Back in action. Yeah. All right.
Let's get right into it.
Anyways, yeah, we got our, it was Tim's cash in this week. We got our bourbon of the week. Tim, what do you got for us?
I got here the Center Stave Kentucky Straight Bourbon. It's finished in port wine casks.
Hell yeah.
Got this from Total Wine down in the Puyallup.
The Puyallup.
The Puyallup.
Ooh.
The Puyallup.
The y'all giddy up.
That's, it's fun to hear people out of Washington try to pronounce that city. So, Puyallup. Now I can't say it.
Puyallup. Did you hear when they were interviewing Cooper Kupp about signing with the Seahawks and the one lady that was like covered it said from Yamaka, Washington. God damn it. That's just stupid. That's not even close. Like, you completely flipped letters around in it. It's Yakima, not Yamaka. Gosh.
Yamaka, Washington.
That's one of them.
Who's Enumclaw, clean out. Yeah, there's a lot of cities. Anyways, Center Stave. Got it from Total Wines. It was only $39.99.
Nice.
So, affordable for
bourbon on a budget.
Bourbon on a budget. And we're going to see if we like this. But just to go over the blurb, crafted with meticulous attention to detail, our bourbon is fully matured in new charred American oak barrels where it develops its signature depth and character. It is then blended and artfully finished in hand-selected port wine casks, imparting a luscious sweetness and velvety texture. Each sip reveals layers of complexity with notes of ripe berries, dark chocolate, and warm oak.
All right.
Do you know what
I love when they give us the
little
flavor
flavors that we should
profiles. Yeah, because then it gives me something to look for instead of me just sitting there drinking it and being like, tastes like bourbon.
Tastes like bourbon. Do you know what a Center Stave is?
I do not.
It is the middle part of the barrel, the biggest part of the wood part of it. You know how it has like the wood rings, and it there's like 2 or 3 up top, 2 or 3 on the bottom, and then there's that big part of the middle part of the barrel.
Okay,
that's the Center Stave.
Oh,
has nothing to do with the bourbon, but that's what the Center Stave is.
I also am curious, like, what the difference between port wine casks and other wine casks are.
Yeah,
like what's port wine casks and other. Anyways,
I have no idea.
That's for a fact check for you next week.
Damn him comes right back and starts it off with a bang.
Adding to it.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man.
Bourbon on a budget tastes good.
Damn. Yeah, that was smooth.
Just smooth.
There's like a late burn.
Very late, and it gets you like right
it gets
down
you down
here.
Down deep. Down
down here, not here, but down here.
But it's not bad in any way, shape, or form. That's like the perfect burn. It's
smooth, and then sweet, and then burn.
Sweet. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm going in for another.
Bourbon on a budget. Yeah, me too. I'm back. Let it swish. Let it swish in your mouth a little. Like mouthwash.
Almost like coats, like when you swirl around and just...
Yeah, it's like everywhere in my mouth, and it's delightful. That's fucking good.
Fucking good.
That's really good. Part of it might be because I've been bourbonless since the last time I was here, and that was a cocktail.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks since I've had just a bourbon on the rocks.
I've been continuing the drinking, so I'm gonna give this a 9.5.
I'm gonna join you. Yeah,
It's
think
not quite a 10.
Yeah, I don't think it fully stands up against our 10s that we've had, but goddamn, it's photo finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right fucking there. The center stave just forgot to lean forward as it crossed the finish line.
But very good.
Oh, my
Easy
Lord.
drink. Excited to have this in a cocktail, but you don't even need it. You don't even need it. You just on the rocks.
Straight up.
Yeah.
That's delicious. I'm happy you picked that. Bourbon on a budget. That's a new t-shirt design too.
I like it.
Just so you know.
You heard it first.
Yep.
Here. That brings us to our socials. You can find us on Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok. We are at TripBPod. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Triple B Podcast, Bourbon Belts, and Blockbusters. And you can send us an email at triplebpod619@gmail.com. Again, would love to hear from you guys. Any ideas, any bourbons you want us to try, any wrestling topics you want to cover, or questions. And then Blockbusters, of course. We want to get social with ya.
Let's get social. Had to.
Yes,
I'm
you
back.
did.
I'm back.
He's back. He's back.
Let's do it. All right. We're back with another edition of our Triple B fact check from the previous episode. And believe it or not, it's relatively short. The episode was only like 52 minutes long. It was just you, so there was no arguing back and forth.
No.
There was none of me throwing out random shit that isn't true. So you kept her. You kept her pretty clean. There were 3 things.
Okay.
I thought there were 4, but I had to go back and re-listen, and it. I was wrong in my initial listening, which is good. So. First up, talk about Drew Carey. Talk about Drew Carey's height. Mm-hmm. I said he thought he might be around like 6 foot, 6'1" or whatever, and then you fact checked that he was 5'10". But in your fact check, you said that you thought that is shorter than me. I am actually 5'10", so me and Drew Carey are the same height.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought for sure you're 5'11".
I am flattered that you're
a tall 5'10".
That you think I'm tall. I'm actually not. I'm a short 5'10". I say 5'10" for my own ego. I'm actually probably just shy of 5'10".
Gotcha.
So there was that one. Simple, easy correction there. Next, in talking through the wellness journey check-in last week, which I know I forgot to send you some shit about myself. I was a little wrapped up in the amount of golf I played last weekend. Was absolutely ridiculous. But you were saying the amount that you had stayed flat. Right. And
I'm glad you listed this.
Yeah. You said that you stayed at that 145.8.
Yeah,
you meant 245.8,
yes.
And I wrote 145.8 would be way too tiny for you, Tim. Your frame would not look good at 145.8 pounds.
I heard it back and I was like, I can't go back on it, and so yeah.
And then finally, the last thing was really just like a clarification of kind of a question you had asked yourself on the podcast about tornado tag matches being no DQ.
Yeah.
And what I looked up and what I was able to find was that no, not all tornado tag matches are just automatically disqualified.
See, that's what
are just not no DQ. So this one apparently was specifically a no DQ tornado tag match without them outright saying it was no DQ.
Yeah. And the announcers made it really sound like, because this is a tornado tag, there's no...
I mean, unless that's like a new thing, but everything that I read was that it was like, no, they're not all DQ, or sorry, they're not all no DQ. They can have stipulations.
Gotcha.
So that was what I read.
Gotcha.
And that was it. The thing that I thought was, I blacked out for part of, apparently on my first listen, just literally like a split second, when you jumped to naming off the runner-ups for Banger of the Week.
Okay.
And you jumped to AEW, but I didn't hear you say Ospreay versus
Fletcher
in the cage.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't hear you say that. All I heard you say was go from Obafemi to then you said AEW's pay-per-view. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, did you mean NXT's thing?
Yeah.
And then so I went back and listened to it, and I was like, oh, I did not hear you say Osprey and Fletcher in my first listen through. So I was like, how did you just jump to say AEW when you're talking about NXT? But then I listened back. So it was just those three things. That was it.
Pretty easy going.
Kept it pretty clean. It was that's like I said, probably significantly easier to do when it's just yourself on the podcast.
Yeah.
You don't have me over here just fucking everything up for you. So, but I'm back, baby.
Speaking of, how was your trip last weekend?
Dude, it was really good. It was fun. It was a good getaway. I haven't done a getaway like that without the girls.
Yeah.
Not that I am like, oh, I got to get away from them, but it's just like when you do it, you're like, oh, I'm like off dad duty. I'm not on any sort of, spousal duty or anything either. Like I'm just fucking hanging out with my boys and we're golfing and we're eating good food.
Yeah.
I kept the drinking. We all did. We kept the drinking to a minimum. I had I only drank beer, which is kind of weird for me because that's the first time I've drank beer since summer.
Oh wow!
But we kept it to like 3, maybe 4 beers a day.
Okay.
And I mean, we were out golfing a lot. Like we were golfing close to 2 rounds a day.
Oh damn.
Okay, I take that back. The first day we golfed 1 round. The next 2 days we golfed twice, and then the Monday, the day we flew home, we golfed that morning.
Gotcha.
So, but I mean, we were, because down there, well, I mean, anywhere when you're golfing, like you can't golf past sundown.
Oh, gotcha.
That makes sense. You can't see the fucking ball.
Yeah.
So like right at that dusk is usually when it's like, all right, time to wrap it up type thing. So when you get an afternoon tea time, you might not finish. And so we were 6 holes shy of playing, I think 5 full rounds.
Oh, nice.
Of golf over the course of those essentially like 3 full days that I was down there with the travel.
Yeah.
So it's 4-day trip, but I flew out on Friday morning, came back Monday afternoon. So it was like 3 full days really of being there.
Nice.
But yeah, it was awesome. I'd never been in Arizona before, so that was cool. Just got to, I mean, I think I've had like a layover at the Phoenix airport before, but I don't count that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just in the airport the whole time. But like actually out driving around and stuff, it's beautiful down there. It's cool because the only thing similar that I have is Texas where my dad lives. And I like the environment and the climate and just everything, the landscape of Arizona, I think I like more because down at my dad's, it's literally like you can see the world start to round before you see a mountain.
Yeah.
And Arizona, it's like that's kind of what it seems like, but then there's fucking big ass mountains out in the distance.
Okay.
So it's like you get a little bit of kind of a mix of like Texas is the only down south I really know.
Yeah.
And then home.
Yeah.
Right. So it was cool. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
It was a blast of a trip. I shot under 100 for my first time.
There you go.
Which was cool, and I know that's not super impressive, but it is for me. I'm not a great golfer. I just really enjoy playing.
Yeah.
Until I'm playing, and then I fucking hate myself. But because that's just how golf is. But yeah, I broke 100 for the first time on like an actual like full size course. Like I broke 100 once at Lake Wilderness, but it's a really short full 18. But I was playing, when I play with them, I play from it's called the tips. It's the farthest back tee box. And I have no business playing from there. I should be playing at the children's tees. But I play back there with them, and I golfed really well that one day for myself. And I shot a 97, which was cool. So
nice.
I broke 100 for the first time with other people playing from the fucking the big boy tees. And, it was a good trip. I had a blast.
Good.
If we, real quick, since I forgot to send you the information for the wellness check-in last week, I did take a picture of the scale like a couple days before I left, and I sent it to you because I was like, fucking let's go. I am under 220.
Hell yeah.
The picture I sent you was 217.8, I believe it was. And then after my trip with, we didn't eat a home-cooked meal for 4 days, essentially.
Yeah.
We were just eating just going out to restaurants and stuff because that's what you do when you're on a trip like that.
Yeah.
And then got back, and I only went to the gym once this week because my hips fucked up. So I'm doing a week early wellness journey check in, and then we'll check back again next week to see where I get back to. But I'm still under 220.
There you go.
Which was nice. I was at 219.8. So it was like I went up 2 pounds from that one day, but it's like weight fluctuates anyways. And I was like, fuck yeah, with drinking beer that I haven't drank in months, eating how I don't fucking eat regularly, and not going to the gym for a week and a half now, essentially, only once. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. So I was stoked about that.
Nice.
I got when I weighed myself, and I weighed myself this morning after I ate breakfast and had my coffee and everything too. So, like, it's still actually probably a little less.
There you go.
I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I felt good about that. So
that's awesome.
I was happy. I was happy with that. So, anyways,
Perfect.
moving on.
And then I got to follow up.
Yeah.
Because you weren't here to talk about it, but we signed a lot of notable free agents last week, and just wanted to get your quick thoughts on Cooper Kupp, on Darnold, and all that. So
yeah, I think it really depends. I love the Cooper Kupp signing. I wanted us to go get him. Is he a DK Metcalf replacement? No. Of course not. Like, anyone that is even comparing that are idiots, in my opinion. I don't think that's why we went and got Kupp, was to be like, oh, we got to replace DK Metcalf. No, that's not what that is. But Cooper Kupp can and probably very likely will be a very nice compliment to JSN.
Yes, absolutely.
And MVS. Because we also signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we have MVS, we got JSN, and we got now CDK.
Yeah.
Cooper Douglas Kupp. And so, and we also signed, I don't even know if you saw this, but Wazoo legend. Oh, why am I forgetting his fucking name? The receiver.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Son of a bitch. God damn it. I literally was just reading about this because I want to be able to talk about it, and I didn't write it down. I forget his name. But anyways, he was with the Dolphins forever.
Yeah.
He is literally like a Wazoo legend. He was there, I believe, with Luke Falk and Leach and all them. So, I like that portion of the offensive signings. The Sam Darnold, we texted back and forth when that happened. Now that the details of the contract have come out, I'm much happier with it. It's essentially a 1 year it's a 1 year $37 million contract or something like that. I'm sure there's a decimal in there after the 37, but it's essentially 37 mil, because the other two are essentially option years. And so I'm good with that. I feel like, and my whole thing was, I get taking a shot on a guy. He's younger than Geno. They had somewhat similar stats. The only thing was Geno put up those same stats with the offensive line that he was behind. Darnold put up those stats because of the offensive line he was behind. If you know what I mean, like, there's a big difference there. And we have done absolutely nothing in terms of improving our offensive line this season, this offseason. We haven't done jack shit. We've signed one offensive lineman, Josh Jones, who's a fucking backup. He's a rotational guy. He's not going to be a starter. He won't be an upgrade from anybody that we had on our line from last year. That was already a bad offensive line. So, and then we were just watching all of these free agent interior linemen come in for visits and then almost immediately sign somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I still feel like there's a good chance that if this offseason plays out the way it is, still continues to play out the way it's been playing out, and then the season ends up kind of being in shit because our offensive line is in turmoil again, John Schneider might be getting shown the door, because you can only disrespect your offensive line for so long, and he has done it now consistently for fucking 10 years. Yeah. And this is going to be, I feel like it's going to be a really big moment. So it's really going to depend on the draft. It doesn't seem like we're going to fucking bring in any like actually sign any fucking free agent offensive lineman, because it's like we've had multiple opportunities and we've been in talks with multiple, like Tevin Jenkins. Why the fuck did we not sign him? Why have we not signed Mekhi Becton? He's a fucking bulldozer. We let Will Freeze go to I think Minnesota because John Schneider wanted him to come in for a physical, and Minnesota said, fuck it, we'll just sign you. That's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Fucking Drew Dahlman signed somewhere. He's a fucking center. Like, he was like the best center available and didn't even fucking like go for him. So it's just so many things like that I'm just like, motherfucker. Yeah. It's just like, over, and it's just consistent over the years, right? And I think that's the part where it like really starts to sting as a fan base. It's similar to the fucking Mariners, right? Being a Mariners fan is like one of the saddest fucking fan bases to be a part of outside of the Giants and the Browns, right? And maybe the Jets, because of the fact that it's like we have all this fucking money to spend and they just don't. And like, it's really bad when you have your own players and players from other teams around the league being like, what the fuck are they doing? You know? So not to jump sports, but it was just making a comparison there. It's kind of frustrating when your front office isn't valuing the things that like, as just like basic football fans, that like you need to value those things.
Yep, exactly.
On the defensive side of shit, getting Demarcus Lawrence. Demarcus Lawrence. Getting Demarcus Lawrence. As soon as I said that, I was like, that wasn't right. Getting him, I think, is fucking phenomenal, especially in the last 3 days or so, we restructured Chena's contract to open up another like 10 mil in cap space. I'm not necessarily a fan of the contract that Demarcus Lawrence signed. However, I guess it's somewhat similar to the Darnold. It kind of turns out to be like a 1 year
with options.
In a sense, right? But when you look at that fucking defensive front, like what we've done defensively is pretty fucking huge. Yeah. Like re-signed Jaron Reed, re-signed Ernest Jones. We restructure Chenna to keep Chenna. We bring in DeMarcus Lawrence. So now you're looking at a defensive front of depth and rotation. Yeah. Right? You got Big Cat. You got DeMarcus Lawrence, you got Boye Mafe, you got Derek Hall, you got Chenna Nwosu, you have fucking Byron Murphy, Jaron Reed, Mike Morris. Oh my God, dude, that defensive front it's got to be one of the, like, it's got to be top 5 in the NFL right now with like on
depth
paper
and
right?
stuff. Yeah.
We don't necessarily have that star. Right, we don't have the Trey Hendrickson or the Aiden Hutchinson or that Aaron Donald,
but they make splashes in the game.
We have. I would rather have multiple high-level players than one phenomenal guy.
It was kind of like the year we brought in Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett. They weren't huge names,
Clemens,
but they were making plays in the depth and everything. Last week I said it, and I was just like, it was easy to just go, it looks like we're in a rebuild right now, but it doesn't feel like that anymore after the week that they had signing everyone that they did. It feels more like,
for sure,
we made some replacements and saved some money in the thing. It's not dime for dime or whatever, apples to apples, with DK to Cooper and whatnot, but it also feels like we're still in the thick of things now.
Yeah. I think with like the lack of commitment towards the offensive line, a move that would make me completely okay with that would be if John Schneider were to use a second and one of our 2 second and one of our 2 third round draft picks and send him to the Bengals and get Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
That defensive front, we have the cap space to fucking bring him over and sign him to an extension. Yeah. But that fucking defensive front with those motherfuckers now all as options, motherfucker. Like, okay, now go draft some fucking offensive linemen. We have a defensive front for the next 4 years. Yeah. Right? Go draft some fucking good D linemen with the fucking first 3 picks, or offensive linemen with the first 3 picks. Fuck it. Right? At that point, I think that one would make me be like, Okay, I still believe in John Schneider if he could figure out how to pull that off. Because the thing is, to a point, you got to believe that Trey Hendrickson is available.
Yeah.
They franchise tagged him because they weren't going to give him the money he wants because they had to go sign fucking Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah.
And they went and signed Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And they franchise tag Henderson. So it's like if they can get, they obviously don't value him as what he wants to be valued at.
Yeah.
So it's like, go get 2 draft picks, higher draft picks too, and send him to a team that will value him. I would be down with the sack leader from last year and a dude that has put up 17 and a half sacks in back-to-back seasons now.
Yep. We'll see.
That would be dope. Is it going to happen? Probably not, but it's wishful thinking.
That's what it's all about. Being a fan is just wishful thinking going on. Yeah. So that brings us to belts. It's weird hearing it back on doing it yourself.
I know. But with that, Timmy, what do you want to talk about?
Well, we got to talk about how Cena dumped us. We got to talk about it. I loved it. I think Cena's promo was creative in why he's a heel now. I mean, he's just going to be himself and blame it on the fans, where that part isn't necessarily new, but the way he's spinning it is new. And I thought it was a fire promo. I legit was sucked in. He says, we get nothing, we don't get no change. It was all the talk was he's going to have a new theme song. He was going to have new attire and everything.
Yeah.
He's dressed in the same, came out the same, and he's like, you don't deserve a new me. I've given you everything, I've changed, and this is what you get. You get John Cena, hustle, loyalty, and respect, and just everything he was saying was good. It was from the moment the crowd, his music hit, loudest boo, top loudest boos I've ever heard. So it was great that it was in another country because the crowd really brought it.
Yeah.
And then just like all the chants throughout that promo and everything, it was gold. And then Cody coming out and to just say, hey, if this is the Cena you're bringing to WrestleMania, I'm going to retire you early. This has quick build to it, instant build. You had the moment at Elimination Chamber and technically this is like the third promo
but it's the first one.
But with
Cena.
them together,
that's the first time we've seen Cena since
this feels like the biggest match on the card, and as it should be, it is going to be. But you've had weeks of other feuds going on where it does not feel like it's on this level at all in any way.
I agree, but I also have reservations with it, and I have some qualms because Cena on the mic is Cena on the mic, right? So it's like he could take a fucking children's lullaby and turn it into fucking gold. That he's just always been able to do that. So it's like you believe him when he's on the mic, because he may not have the same abilities in the ring. He may have lost a step in the ring when it comes to that type of thing, but he hasn't lost shit on the microphone. So like that's always good to see, and I think that is what makes this work. However, I do think the I'm a victim is cheesy as fuck. It makes no sense to me, because it's literally the farthest thing from the fucking truth. He was put up on the pedestal for 20 years. He was the face of the franchise, and for the fucking 2 weeks or whatever the fuck it was when he first debuted, where he was boring as shit as the prototype. Okay, people didn't like you then, and then you actually got an actual fucking character, and it worked. That's how entertainment goes. So then to like try to turn that, I don't know, it just didn't come across that great to me. But that's whatever. The rest of the promo is solid. I think the biggest issue with it is where the fuck's The Rock at? There was no mention of him. No mention of him at all. Where the fuck's he at? And this is the issue with this shit. And this is the issue with Dwayne Johnson. It's because I'm not even calling him The Rock at this point because he doesn't deserve it. That's the thing. He isn't that anymore. Mm-hmm. He isn't. And he's too big now to be a part of any of these storylines, and he needs to be done. Mm-hmm. It's over. Like, nothing good is going to come from any of it, because all it does is he just makes these decisions on a whim when he wants to, and all of a sudden everybody has to jump at it, especially now that he's on the fucking board of TKO. Like, I think it's bad for business all around. I don't think it's good, and I think wrestling will be better in general after this whole storyline is over and Cena retires. That's kind of where I'm at with it, because there's so much now that it's like, you just had The Rock, and you had Cena turn inside with The Rock. You had The Rock, him, and fucking Travis Scott beat Cody down, and we've gotten nothing in the form of like a return until Cena by himself in the ring without any mention of Dwayne. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense. And so I'm just like, okay, if you're too fucking busy, then stop inserting yourself into shit. Just stop. Be done. Mm-hmm. Be done being The Rock. Be Dwayne Johnson, the behind-the-scenes board guy who knows how to push storylines and do that shit. Fine. That's totally cool. But stop being like, Triple H isn't coming out and getting involved in fucking storylines anymore because he knows he can't. Mm-hmm. You need to take notes, Dwayne, because this isn't fair to the fan base. It's not fair to Cody. It's not fair to Cena. It's not fair to anybody in the situation for you to have this happen. Mm-hmm. And this has been like a fucking 3-year-long thing now with The Rock doing this. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm over it to that point. But the last thing on that I will say is Cody straight up cooked Cena. Straight up.
I will give you that, but I think this is leading to something more. I think this is just the first scrape of what we get with Cena and his heel thing, and I think Cena's gonna go on a big tear now after that because of Cody's promo.
Yeah, I just loved I forget exactly how he said it, but the not this whiny bitch. And
yeah.
Just turns around and fucking walks out, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
And it was literally like, and they played it great. And I think that's part of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was just like Cena sucked on the mic, but it was Cody's portion of that made the promo. Mm-hmm. To me. Like, Cody's portion of that made that all come full circle and well-rounded and made it what it needed to be in that moment. And to literally just leave Cena there speechless. Mm-hmm. Like, how often have we ever seen Cena be speechless? So like you said, that's like leading to stuff. Yeah. And I think that is good. But I just like Cody's part of that was so fucking perfect and well done. And I was like, let's go.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I put down here, I said, Cody definitely is lighting a spark under Cena right now because of what he said. And I'll disagree. I like the Cena's like just portrayal. It gives a reason to why he's gone heel, but we'll see how it plays out.
Well, I think like I just think it's a stretch. Mm-hmm. But because they're like, but to your point, like, what the fuck else could they use to make him go heel? Mm-hmm. Because there's nothing that makes sense for him to go heel. So that's why I think that it's kind of a stretch, but it's the only fucking thing that they could they're grasping at straws there to fucking get something, a legitimate thing that makes some semblance of sense. That's what they were able to come up with, and I'm good with that, but I just still am like, the whole like blaming the fan base and all that is kind of a stretch because he did that himself. Yeah. He manufactured himself throughout his entire career.
Yeah. So. And I think there's more, just like we're getting a glimpse of just part of the reason why he's feeling the way and made it easy to make a decision to go with The Rock. So
yeah.
Dwayne Johnson, to you.
Yeah. He's Dwayne now.
All right.
He's dead.
What
to
do
me.
you- what do you-
He's dead to me in the wrestling world.
What do you got?
Sticking with Raw, I said because you talked a little bit about this last week, but the Chad Gable and the American-made lucha mask and all that, and like you like totally think it's him, but then you see the guy in the mask getting brought out, escorted out of the building, and then we get it again on Raw this week. And it is the funny thing is. It is actually hard to tell if that's Chad Gable under the mask. It is. That's the thing. Or I'm like, he's doing all the same moves. He's built very similar, but it is very hard to tell if it's Chad Gable or not.
Yeah. And it's 100% him, right?
I don't know. I had this thought, and you're going to think I'm crazy. What if it's Charlie Haas?
Oh. Similar build, right?
Similar build. Similar facial structure.
Yeah.
Charlie Haas is still fucking jacked.
Yeah.
He's much older now, obviously. I mean, you're talking 20 years later, essentially.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking like somebody that's fucked with the luchas before in his career. Is very, very much...
World's greatest tag team.
World's greatest tag team. And all that. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, what could it be? That would be kind of fucking awesome.
It would be cool.
It would be pretty sweet. And especially with the comparisons of Chad Gable to Kurt Angle and like all of that, it would just kind of be a full circle and play into it type thing. And
I like that. I didn't
wouldn't
even think of that.
Yeah.
So,
is it that? Probably not. I know that's reaching. That's definitely
that's a
grasping
stretch,
for straws. But
I like it.
It's a cool theory. It's definitely a cool theory.
Maybe it really is Chad Gable, but then they have an angle where it's Charlie Haas in one night, just randomly. I like that idea. Going back to Jay, I know I talked about it last week. This storyline is just dragging through the mud.
Yeah,
to give him no time in the ring, I know his entrance takes a long time. The fans are loving him.
His entrance didn't take that long this week though, because he didn't come through this crowd. He came out. It
was through the regular.
I think what was something that I read was that match originally was like scheduled for like 11 minutes, but I think the Cena intro took too long, and everything else with the show had to. But then you
fast forward and let Seth's fans sing the song for 20 minutes. I love the crowd, but hearing the song sing over and over again and give Jay a 2-second match, it's not helping that you... Well, I know Triple H listens to the fans, and there's a lot of fans saying this storyline's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And...
Well, because it's not, because all we keep getting is fucking...
Gunther attacking after the match, but
Jay
it's just
from
a
behind.
sleeper hold.
Like, and anytime Jay comes out to help save somebody or whatever, his music hits.
Yeah.
That's the thing that, again, going back to what we've talked about so many times before, it's like Jay's music hits because it's a fucking pop, and we get that. And I love Jay's music, and I love Jay, and I love the Yeet, and I love all of it.
Yeah.
It's the best fucking shit. But when are we going to get Jay coming out of nowhere and attacking Gunther?
Yeah. I agree.
Because that's what Gunther's music isn't hitting post match every fucking time when he comes out with a fucking black zipped up hoodie, and comes into the ring and attacks Jay from behind, right? Like, we're not getting his music hitting, we're not getting any of that. It's literally out of nowhere. But anytime Jay comes in, it's not.
Yeah.
So I want to see a little more dark side of the face with Jay in that regard, like we've gotten from Cody.
Yeah.
You know,
they need to have a promo one-on-one, and it can't be the same stuff they've been talking about, because again, last week I said it, they've fought each other for the IC title, they fought each other for the World Heavyweight Championship.
There's storyline here.
You just got to build off of that. You got to have a promo. You can't just be these Gunthers attacking him from behind. Yes, Jay got the upper hand, but it doesn't feel like it moved the needle in any way this week.
I agree 100%.
And fuck off with Austin Theory, and like, he doesn't have any business with them. Like,
but at the same time, another reason why that match pissed me off was because you just squashed Austin Theory.
Yeah.
Who should be one of your fucking brightest stars of the future. Mm-hmm. You just fucking squashed him like that. And it
wasn't even a good spear.
It was with a shitty spear. Fucking Michael Cole called it a crossbody. I know. He called it a crossbody and then got a fucking 3 count on it.
Yeah.
It was all around just bad.
It was
bad.
It was definitely definitely not a good showing, and not the step I wanted to take after I lambasted it last week. So
yeah, it definitely is going in the wrong direction here.
yeah,
Which sucks, because if they do end up having Jay win the title at WrestleMania, it's gonna feel lesser then.
Yeah.
Because of the storyline build is shitty. The creative behind it is awful. So
I mean, they could build the storyline with just, like I said, one-on-one promo. Gunther could berate him, blah, 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 make him feel this small, and then that would make it feel bigger.
Have that happen, and then whether it's later that night, maybe start Raw with that, and then later in the night, Gunther's in a match, and have Jay attack Gunther.
Yeah.
That right there would spark something, right? Like, you actually have Jay come out and beat down Gunther and show that he can compete, he can have the upper hand, he is capable. That in and of itself would go miles.
Or Gunther can handpick an opponent for Jay, something insurmountable to beat. Jay beats him, like, not in a 5-second match, but has him overcome, and just start building something going. Building confidence in Jay leading to this match. Just do something, because I'm all for it. I was happy for Jay winning the Rumble. I'm still happy for it. I want him to become champion. Just give me a reason to appreciate it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, for sure. I got looks like we're going to be getting the triple threat match for the women's world title at WrestleMania.
Got that on my notes too.
And I just don't know how I feel about it. This is another one that just doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. They're just completely overshadowing Io Sky as champion, which, like, to a point, Io Sky shouldn't fucking be champion in the first place. But then it's also like, she is your champion right now, but you're just, like, putting her in the back seat to this Rhea Bianca thing, which the Bianca thing doesn't make sense with what's going on with Jade and Naomi on the other side of stuff. So it's just, there's so many things. It's like, it made no sense to have Rhea drop the fucking belt 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. Like, it just made no sense.
Yeah.
It still doesn't make sense. And now you have this contract signing, and like, I'm assuming is what's going to happen. And that's what obviously they're leaning towards. But her just coming out and signing her name in a fucking blank white spot on a contract doesn't mean anything. So that also doesn't make sense.
I think
it's just, and then the table didn't break.
No.
And I was just like, fuck, man. It's just all sorts of just, I don't know.
Yeah. I think
it was sloppy. Raw was sloppy this week.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. I'm not a huge fan of this storyline, just because the Rhea thing came out of nowhere, this character change, and it makes no sense. And then
literally out of nowhere.
in literally just 1 minute, she's blaming herself, and then next it's Bianca.
Yeah.
And then she's acting like a child on this Raw, going, I'm not going to give you the country. I'm not going to give you the, like, it's just, it's a weird character change, and it just happened out of nowhere. Where I think it's going is because they're disrespecting Io as champion, is she's going to ask for her to be added, just to be like, I'll shut up both of these people because they're disrespecting me. So that's the way I see it going. I'm not excited about that. I don't know how else you could play into it, but signing your name on a blank page doesn't add you to the match. I agree.
Yeah.
So,
this is weird.
I'm going over to SmackDown.
Same.
Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte interview. Charlotte did a lot of bulldozing in this interview, and very heelish, but it also felt very almost real at the same time, what Tiffany and Charlotte were saying about each other. And just Tiffany saying, you pour water on everything that catches fire in the WWE. Truer words couldn't have ever been said. That, like, if that was a written promo, bravo, because it feels like real. And I absolutely agree with that statement, because it's true.
It is true.
Charlotte comes out of nowhere and gets a title shot. No matter where, out of the millions that she has.
Almost 2 years or whatever the fuck it was, right? Like,
and instantly wins the Rumble. And so I wasn't a huge fan of it, but also a huge fan of this promo, just because it felt real. And it just adds to what Tiffany did last week on SmackDown, and going on the attack. So it feels like there's gaining some traction. I'm still not sold on this feud. It feels...
that being said, with the brawl last week and then the promo last night, in the last 3 weeks, the 4 main title WrestleMania pictures have gone from this being the bottom of the barrel to being number 2.
Oh, I would, yeah.
Hands down, not even in question.
Not even, yeah.
This is way more interesting now than either of the Raw titles.
Agreed.
Hands down.
Yeah.
And so, to their credit on SmackDown, they're doing something with it that Raw's not fucking doing anything with at all.
Yeah.
With either of their
and this
titles
is what we
going to
said.
WrestleMania, so.
This is what we said earlier on. We want Charlotte, if this is the way they're going to berate Tiffany, make her look like nothing. And,
it needs to keep happening.
And so
I would love to see her. I don't want to see Tiffany Stratton get the upper hand a whole lot between now and WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make her beating Charlotte at WrestleMania that much better.
Yeah.
And if they give Charlotte the fucking title at WrestleMania, that will be one of the worst creative decisions in the history of the business.
Agreed.
That will be fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So
I think the dagger in the promo was just if you have a career when you're my age, I was just ooh, ooh, stab her in the back and then just twist it. Why don't you? Yeah. But no, I agree. I think this definitely moved the title match up a few notches. And like I said last week, it was just, this is what it needed. It needed something where it wasn't just Charlotte going on the attack. They switched it. They did a promo, just like I'm saying needs to happen with Jay and Gunther. Mm-hmm. And so now we can build off of this.
Yeah. My next 2 are kind of quick, but why do they keep fucking screwing over Zelina Vega? The whole point of that last week, you got to go through me if you want a shot at that, should have been for her to knock off fucking Piper Niven to have a shot at the U.S. Championship.
Yeah.
Why do they keep not putting Zelina Vega in these fucking situations?
Yeah.
And then when they have put her in, she gets completely fucking screwed over. She is one of the best fucking female performers on the SmackDown roster. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. And she has never been legitimately pushed.
No.
She wasn't even in the fucking running for one of the individual titles. Mm-mm. I don't think she was in either of the tournaments to get there.
No, and we wanted her to be. Yeah.
What the fuck, man? And now she has the opportunity potentially to get a number 1 contender, and then you fucking just squash her like that. Which, I'll give it to him. The match was fucking good.
I was going to say.
It was a really good match. And the finish was actually legit. It was a devastating fucking crossbody from Piper Niven to Zelina Vega. They were both airborne. Yeah. And just flattened her. But it was God damn it, man.
Yeah.
Just...
I think
put Chelsea in an actual feud.
Yeah, I agree.
Her being the U.S. champion is fucking perfect. The fucking Secret Service, the whole fucking thing is awesome, and I love it.
Yeah.
So give her an enemy, give her a feud, give her somebody to actually combat this.
Yeah.
Not just these one-off fucking squash matches that keep happening.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah. I got theme songs. They gave Zelina Vega a new theme song. Sucked.
I didn't even notice.
Crowd didn't even react to her, and I think it's because they don't know that it was her, and she's so short. She's walking through the crowd. Do they even notice that she was coming out?
Yeah.
And then the Street Profits, they gave new theme music too. Both of them fell flat. None of them fit their characters. And I know we've talked about the company that's doing Def Rebel is just. It's garbage unless you're the top people like Jay, he's got a great song and they're one-offs. But then everyone else got these cheesy songs. It doesn't feel good anymore.
Is Jay's music him singing that though?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's just me. Ooh, that sound. I think it's Jay.
Yeah.
So.
But the music behind it, yes. Which is good. But then you kind of nailed it LA Knights and Shinsuke songs sounded very similar. That's why we think Shinsuke got a new song. And then you have Street Profits win the tag titles last week. Their song was already a banger. It gets the crowd going. It fits their, hey, But now they're doing the A, and it's like the slow rap song going on. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. I think theme songs go a long way to building your character.
Absolutely, they do.
And
yeah.
they just took two characters and just
Like, why do you think some of the biggest names in the fucking history of the company have had the same fucking theme song for 20 plus years?
because they're bangers. They're toasted
like,
ass theme songs, and they
Orton's
get
theme song
the
right
crowd
now has
going.
been his theme song for a while.
Yeah.
Long time. But even if they went back to the fucking, was that the Rev
Hey,
Theory?
nothing you can say. Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's not Rev Theory, though. That's part
No,
of it.
I don't think it is.
No. But anyways,
But-
like, if they went back to that, that was a fucking banger of a fucking theme song, too.
Yep.
Cena's fucking theme song.
Yep.
Like, come on. Shawn Michaels.
Triple H.
Stone Cold. The Rock for
Hey, yo,
fucking
Sami
ever.
Zayn.
Yeah, like
They're
they've
all
had,
good.
like such good theme songs for so long, and you're just like, why? Like, what happened to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed by that, especially like Zelina. Like they're crushing her left and right. It doesn't help her, but Street Profits, you just gave the tag titles to. They had already banger theme song,
Yeah, and
then
you
they
change
take
it up. It's like, what?
Like it. If they go heel all of a sudden, it'll fit their characters,
Yeah.
but it does not fit the hey, we want the smoke.
Yeah, which I mean, like, they did go heel.
They did, but then
They
didn't.
did, but they're not, and so like that's weird in and of itself.
Yeah.
So it's just confusing all around.
Yeah.
My next thing, again, like I said, this one's quick as well. I wrote that they're making Naomi out to be a legit heel.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not bad.
No, I
Like,
100% agree.
The attack last night was perfect. The outfit I
The
thought
look,
was
yeah.
perfect. And where the fuck was Bianca at? That part still doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, it's Bianca. I thought this might be the moment where, oh, is Bianca coming out, and then is she gonna like join Naomi and start beating down Jade, and then that could kind of give her a heelish side going into the triple threat match at WrestleMania. Like, there's so many fucking options, and they're just not giving us any of them. And
Yeah.
it's that part's annoying. But for how annoyed we have been with Naomi since she's come back, this is probably the best thing they could have fucking done for her.
100% agree.
So-
I agree. I will build on. I think they're going to hold off on this Bianca thing. I think she wins the title at Mania, and then we start seeding those seeds of she was behind the whole Jade thing.
And that's
So,
going to lead to Jade versus Bianca for
And
the
now-
title, potentially to put Jade in the title picture.
Yeah.
I could see that.
make because last night,
But also that doesn't make sense either, because they're on fucking SmackDown.
you know how it will change.
I know, but
It will
it's
change.
stupid. I hate it all. Just don't have fucking
Brand
drafts
splits,
and brand
yeah.
splits. Just
Yeah.
have whoever you want on
It
TV.
means nothing
on TV.
anyways.
Yeah, just have it. Just stop with the fucking, like, don't put a goddamn label on it. Just, if you want someone on TV, put them on fucking TV, so it at least makes sense.
Yeah, but I will say last night did a lot for Naomi. Now I have some skin in their match, if that's what it's going to be at WrestleMania. I'm here for it. I thought last night was very solid for her.
Yeah.
Jade takes a loss, but that said, Jade looked great solo last night. Like there was a few moments here and there, but overall that match was really good, and I think that was a big part of the reason why she was gone for so long, was to work on her solo stuff.
The reverse of Oblivion into the fucking German suplex off the middle rope was fucking dope.
Yeah, it
I was
was.
like, oh shit, that was
Yeah.
new. I do have to bring this up because I can't just let us skate past this. Liv Morgan was on her period.
What?
Yep. Tampon string.
Oh no!
Full blown, just hanging out almost the entire match. And I literally was like, is that what I think that is? And then and I noticed it with one of the pins that Jade went to pull. She folded her in half.
Oh, gotcha.
Like legs over the head, folded her in half, and the camera is then like facing Jade's face.
Yeah.
So it's camera's straight at Liv Morgan's crotch.
Oh no!
And it was just like a white string hanging out. And I was just like, oh, what the fuck? And I'm like, Lindsay, come here. I was like, is this what I think this is? And she's watching. She's like, oh my God.
No.
Lindsay was like, this match needs to end. It needs to be over. And I was just like, oh no. And then at the end, when Raquel pulled her out and like put her on her shoulder, Raquel's hand was like on her leg and then instantly went like over the back. Yeah. Like the back side of her crotch. Because she knew. Like, and I'm sure they were like, hey, we got to end one of Jade's pin attempts was not leg like up. Yeah. It was like she like pulled her leg over.
Gotcha.
To try to like cover. So it was like you could tell that they were like trying to cover it up. But I also feel like Liv Morgan is probably just like whatever, because that's just like who she seems like she would be. Like it's not gonna embarrass her or whatever, because I mean that's just fucking part of life, right?
Yeah.
And like the fact that she's out there doing that and taking the fucking bumps she's taking while that's the situation is fucking actually really, like, Lindsay was like, how the fuck is she doing this?
Yeah.
Because like Lindsay was like, yeah, that's a tampon string 100%. So it's like she's definitely on her period, and she probably doesn't feel good, but she's out there fucking doing this. That's impressive.
Yeah.
So all the kudos to Liv Morgan in that. Like, hopefully there's no embarrassment or anything running that back. But I was just like, oh no, that is so unfortunate. And Lindsay's like, she needs to like tuck the string into it. And Lindsay was like, she needs to tuck the string into her butt crack. And I was like, babe, I'm sure she probably did. Like, I'm sure the string probably just didn't stay in position throughout all these fucking bumps she's taking. Like, things move around. Like, wardrobe malfunctions happen all the time for men and women, both across the whole fucking gamut, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm sure it's just one of those things that just happened. And I was just like, oh no. But man, the match was fucking a banger. Liv Morgan's amazing. She's so fucking good.
She is. And like you said, she's the ultimate seller. She sells everything. Seller.
She's like the ultimate heel.
Yeah.
Like,
I still stand on it. Why did Jade let Liv take the fall? Like, I still pissed about that. They should not have added that to the storyline, because it makes zero sense now.
Yeah, but it did lead to Jade's first singles match back being against Liv, which was the best possible thing for Jade.
True.
Like, really being in the ring with Liv. Rhea's probably the only other person that would be like a better option for her to have her first singles match back, because things aren't going to get too fucked up when either of them are in the ring.
True. And Liv is just a believable character to be tossing around, and it fits her character to just rely on shenanigans to be happening.
Tactics.
So no, it was the perfect matchup. Did really well. Last thing is just the CM Punk Rollins.
I'm assuming this is what we're both ending with.
And Roman Reigns. Not a lot of talking. I thought there would be a little more quips and everything.
I think they ran out of time again.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's the issue with
you got a 3-hour show.
3-hour show. But like, Reigns comes out and he's like, I'll be out here for another 15, 20 minutes. So if anyone, and I was like, there's only 10 minutes left in this broadcast. The fuck are you talking about? Like, you came out with like just under 11 minutes left in the broadcast. So I was like, nah. But why are we giving, if that is like, if that's the thing you're ending with, cut down some of the other shit.
Yeah.
Let this fucking cook.
Yeah.
This is what needs to be cooking, is these fucking 3 individuals.
Yeah.
Because they are your chefs.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they are the chefs of this fucking company. Some of them, right?
Yeah.
Like, not all of them, but they are 3 of the main chefs, and you only give them fucking like 9 minutes?
Yeah.
Which means there was very little wordage, and all 3 of them 2 of the 3 for sure can cook on the mic. Roman's better and better, but he's still. That's why Paul Heyman's his mouthpiece. But regardless, like, the 3 of them should have had it. They should have had fucking 25 minutes.
Yeah,
to be able to put on a segment.
I felt like this was the time for the talking. Like, the good thing for them is the seeds are planted between the 3. Like, we're gonna buy into this storyline, but.
What we haven't gotten.
But you don't get Roman at all. So, having him on a show, you need to be talking.
Yeah, true.
The brawl wasn't anything special either. Like, it was fine.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like what Seth and CM Punk did the other week. That was a brawl. That was
well, and then you end it with the stairs shots. And then Roman gets up and gives the one and points to WrestleMania, but then Rollins just gets right back up from it, and then they start brawling again to then actually close out the show.
I thought it would have been
rolling. It was like that should have just been it. That should have been Roman standing tall, because he would have had now Roman standing tall twice over both of them. You would have had Rollins essentially standing tall once at WrestleMania. With him standing over for a brief moment before Roman attacked over Punk. And that would have set up the perfect opportunity for now Punk to get his before Mania.
Punk.
That's what I was gonna say. Was one thing we haven't gotten now is Punk with the upper hand over these two. That hasn't happened. He's been on the receiving end. We need now, between now and WrestleMania, we need all three of them to brawl again. I feel like it has to happen. They have to brawl again. And Punk needs to get the upper hand now. Because if not, either that or that's setting up Punk to win the match, potentially. Which realistically is what needs to happen. I think Punk needs to win that match, but
CM Punk definitely won the mic work for the night and then go on.
Punk always wins the mic work. There's very few people in the industry that can go toe to toe with CM Punk on the mic. Very few.
We finally got the mention of the favor, like specifically from CM Punk. Is it going to lead to this match?
I have zero ideas or thoughts on what the fucking favor is. It's still, none of it makes that much sense to me because Paul Heyman's not in a situation to be able to grant CM Punk a favor.
Only thing that
if Roman was the champion, that's different, but he's not. He's
not in admin. He doesn't create matches.
So that's the thing is I don't know what that favor is unless it ends up being we come out of WrestleMania with Heyman and Punk back together. And the favor is Heyman, because triple threat matches are no DQ. Is Heyman turning on Reigns at WrestleMania for allowing him to get the shit beat out of him by Solo.
I could see that.
Right, so I don't know. There are options there. I don't know.
But I agree with you. I just don't know. There's not a lot of favors that really can make further CM Punk's career other than Paul Heyman
eventing WrestleMania for a title. That's really it.
That's what I was thinking
this year. So, it's weird.
I agree. Sure. All right, that's what I got.
Same. Timmy, that brings us to our banger of the week. What do you got?
I got the John Cena Cody Rhodes promo on Raw. I got to be honest, this week in wrestling, you take the crowds away, it wasn't that strong of a week. There was some good matches.
Absolutely.
But overall, you take the crowds away, it did not feel like a strong week. And not after the previous week, which I thought was a fire week. This was definitely not the same. The crowd definitely helped with it, and I was good with that. But the thing that stood out to me the whole week was Cena and Cody Rhodes promo. I felt like the match feels huge, and just off of their 20 minutes to open the show.
I totally agree with you, and it's actually kind of funny because that leads into my banger of the week. I almost went with Cody's side of it, because I thought, like I already mentioned, I thought that was the climax of that entire thing. I thought that was the culminating piece to it, was his bar back at John Cena, arguably the greatest to ever work a microphone in the history of the business. And like I said, Cody cooked him on that, right? Left him speechless. Just not this whiny bitch. And as the champion, as the face, the new John Cena, really, to a point. But John, that's not the type of interaction Cena would have had. He had moments. Especially when he was the rapper John Cena. But when he became the face, he wasn't talking like that much anymore.
He was the one shutting down everyone else, that Roman Reigns.
Exactly. Oh my God,
cooked him on that.
But this was shit. But I got to give credit where credit is due for my banger of the week, and that is to the crowds at these last fucking 30 episodes, because I think it started in Barcelona, right? Yeah. So it was Barcelona,
SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown.
Raw was in Belgium.
It was in Spain.
Well, it was all three of them were in Spain.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
no,
I think it went Barcelona, and then it went, I think, Belgium, and then it went back to
Yes, you're right. Belgium
Bologna
and then
Spain.
Bologna.
Yeah,
Which
I think it
reminds
was
me-
Belgium, but
Tessitore said Bologna as many times as I said phenomenal last week on the episode.
he did say it a lot.
Bologna.
Yeah.
Bologna. Yes,
But
we know you're Italian and you
Yeah.
can say it.
Yeah, but it was like the crowds were. This hands down was the best crowds we've seen since France.
Oh, yeah.
And what fucking PLE was that?
That was Backlash.
Backlash.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was fucking insane.
Why did
These for just not even PLEs, for just being fucking SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, have been insane.
Yes.
And part of it, like Lindsay was like, why are the crowds so much different? And I was like, well, part of it's because like
they don't go over there
on SmackDown last week, SmackDown was the first time they'd been in fucking Spain. I think that's the first time SmackDown had ever been in Spain. And it had been like 18 years. They said last night, 18 years since WWE live TV had been in Spain or something like that, you know? And so it's like they're like, the U.S. cities are all like, the crowds are always fucking, for the most part, pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But it's so regular for the U.S. cities, right?
watered down
Yeah, it's
over
watered
here.
down because they tour the U.S. frequently. That's their consistent. That's their home.
Yeah.
It's a home base, right? So when you go to some of these fucking countries that don't get it that often, that's why fucking Saudi's so fucking hype every year they go there.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, this is the Super Bowl to them.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
this is like they get it once a year, or maybe a couple times, maybe a year.
Yeah.
For some of these countries, and the fucking Spain crowd and I'm pretty sure it was Belgium.
Yeah.
Crowds were fucking insane.
Yeah.
That was so good. So
That
was like one of the first things I was like, holy shit, when I was watching SmackDown on the plane, because I watched last week's SmackDown on the plane ride home Monday, and I was just like, holy fucking shit, man. Like, what was it? LA Knight, I think, started the show last week, SmackDown.
Yep.
That was fucking crazy. I was like, oh my God, man. This
Can
is
make
insane.
everyone feel like $1 million bucks.
Dude. And yeah, it was all around. And like all the way up to the fucking closeout of last night was hype, and it was just it was all around great.
U.S. crowds, this is a challenge to you. We got to live up to them. I know they come around often, but
like it makes sense, and so like I'm not like dogging the U.S. crowd.
No, for sure,
by any means, because it is, we see it more often, you know.
But like,
and so that is different. That is a change.
But like the Jey Uso entrance, like France and now Belgium did the lights and everything. Why doesn't U.S. do that?
Yeah, true.
The lights is easy to do. We all already do the yeet.
Yeah,
we're all into it. But do the lights. That part's the badass part.
Like the flashlights on the phone.
I think so. Yeah, it's just
where it just adds another element.
It makes
to
it look so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That brings us to the belts question of the week. I posed this one. We have Cena as heel now. This is his farewell tour. Let's just assume he wins the elusive number 17 title reign at Mania. Who is the three superstars you would have him do a feud with post Cody?
All right. I went number one. I said LA Knight.
Okay.
I thought LA Knight would be LA Knight and John Cena. I think again, LA Knight's fucking amazing on the mic. That could be a really good feud there. And yeah, I think LA Knight would be a really good one. That's my number. That's my like number 3.
Okay.
Do you want to go and then go back and forth?
Yeah, let's just go back and forth.
So give me your lowest of the 3, because LA Knight was the lowest of the 3 for me.
All right. Well, I'm going to put Sami Zayn.
Ooh.
I think the passion
Shit.
on the mic from both of them would lead to something great.
in a heel Cena.
And the heel Cena and Sammy could feed right in that. You used to be this better person, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
They would cook. They would cook on the mic. They would cook in the ring.
Yeah, they would.
Or they have cooked in the ring. I know Sammy did one of the U.S. Open challenges, and it was a fire match. So Sami Zayn is what I got there.
Okay. My next one is more, and again, it's this comparison all the time, but it's more for nostalgia sake, but in a flipped form because it's something that we never really got. And some of Cena's, arguably some of Cena's best matches were against Kurt Angle. Mm-hmm. But Kurt Angle was always the heel.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, going off of one of the things I remember you saying on the show last week, was we need to see Chad Gable go face. Was that something that...
I said Jacob Fatu needs to go face.
Oh, well, yeah, that's fucking true. But
I think he already is.
But Chad, I think if you could get a Chad Gable being face against a heel John Cena... Mm-hmm. It kind of gives you a potential look into what could have been a flopped storyline between Kurt Angle and John Cena way back in the day.
I like that.
And it's kind of a fucking, like, you had Kurt Angle, Cena got the best of Kurt Angle more often than not, and then now this stage of Cena's career, you could get a face Gable getting the best of John Cena.
Yeah.
Kind of a poetic type thing there. So,
yeah.
And I think and Gable, again, great on the mic and phenomenal in the ring. So, yeah, I thought that would be an interesting, not necessarily the greatest banger of a match.
Oh, I think it would be a banger.
I think it would be I think it would definitely be a banger of a match. But are there other options for in-ring matches that there could be? For sure, but I just think the storyline itself could be very interesting and intriguing as something that you just wouldn't necessarily expect.
I like it. Next up, I got CM Punk, just for nostalgia's sake. And now it's I know CM Punk was the heel throughout their feud, but the crowds loved him at the same time. So it's kind of,
that was also at the point, like the pinnacle of the point where the crowds hated Cena because he was such a face.
Yes.
Right. So
I think,
which I guess, that kind of leans into Cena's heel turn.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I would put that there.
All right. And last but not least, I put Randy Orton.
Same.
Is that really the number one? I put Randy Orton.
You got the two corners of the
to win his what would be 15th? Would that give him 15 or 16?
It would give him. He was one behind, so that would give him 16. Yeah,
so give him his 16th and retire Cena.
That's kind of what I was leaning. That's why he's my number one. You got the pillars of WWE. That was like
for 20
the ruthless
years.
aggression. It was post Rock.
I don't know that
Stone
you
Cold.
have two other people outside of Taker who have done it for as long as they have at the level that they have and meant as much to the business as they have.
Yeah.
I think Taker is literally the only other person that stands up to that. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking, they've been in the WWE, haven't gone anywhere else. Nothing for over 20 years now. And what they meant to the storylines and through some of the hardest times in wrestling.
Yeah.
Right? To be able to just carry it on their backs.
Yeah.
Taker's legitimately the only other person that can say they did it for as long.
Yeah.
At that level in the same company.
Yeah. I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's those two would be, I mean, that's got to be the final fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's got to be what ends it, is Orton versus Cena.
It just makes sense.
It does. It 100% does. Especially if he does win the title from Cody. Like, I don't know if that's the right move, But if that does happen, then yeah, you gotta have Orton win it.
Yeah.
And that's what retires Cena.
Yep.
At fucking whatever the December pay-per-view is. I forget what it is. Clash
I don't
of the
even
Castle
remember
or
anymore.
Something I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's...
Last time we didn't even have a PLE in December.
Oh yeah, I guess that's right. It was a
Saturday night main event.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to
Blockbusters.
Wow. Hubba hubba. Thank you very much. With that, we have a couple of movies to talk about. I'm surprised we haven't actually talked about this before because it's been in the making for a while.
Yeah.
And it's on a film franchise that I know we both love.
I actually have
You
never
don't
seen
love
John Wick.
the John Wick
No,
franchise?
I have not watched it,
This was just an assumption I made, and I was incorrect.
but I've heard only good things
That's
about
because
it.
all there are good things
Yes.
about it. There's nothing
So,
bad about it.
I
love The Matrix.
Yeah.
This is The Matrix multiplied by 77,000. It's
Yeah.
like this is the best Keanu Reeves has ever been is in these fucking movies.
I know. I don't know why I haven't watched them. I have all of them,
It's amazing. Oh, you own them and you haven't watched any of them?
and I haven't watched them,
Tim.
and I don't know why, but I'm going to get on it. I promise.
That is almost the equivalent of not fresh squeezing your own juice. Okay? Fuck off! Jesus Christ, bro. Anyway, so this is Ballerina. The synopsis of this movie is taking place during the events of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. The film follows Eve Macaro, who is beginning her training in the assassin traditions of the Ruska Roma. The cast is Ana de Armas as Eve Macaro. It also stars returning John Wick franchise members, Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane, and Angelica Houston, with also... Oh, why did I not put it on there? But it's his final film credit. It's... you don't know because you haven't seen the fucking movies. Son of a bitch. I'm looking it up real quick. So you don't have to fact check that because you haven't even seen them. So it wouldn't make that much sense for you. John Wick. It's like the whole idea is there's like a hotel. Mm-hmm. I forget what the name of the hotel is, but he's
Is
like
it the Continental?
the Continental. Yeah.
Because there's a show.
Because there's a show called, which is also fucking phenomenal. You should
Haven't
watch
watched
that too.
either.
That's like a prequel to it.
To all of John Wick?
To all of it, yeah.
Okay.
It follows, I believe it follows like Ian McShane's character as a young person.
Okay.
And how he like becomes kind of like the person that runs the Continental. But anyways, where is his name? Lance Reddick. That's what I was gonna say, but I didn't want to be wrong. So Lance Reddick is like the front desk guy at the Continental, and also he's just a badass dude in the movie. But he passed away, and he is in Ballerina, and it's like I believe it's his final credits.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, the release date for Ballerina is June 6, 2025, and it will be in theaters. The trailer for this looks fucking sick. Ana de Armas is a badass actress.
Yeah.
I mean, she was phenomenal in playing Marilyn Monroe, and I forget what the name of that movie was, but she played Marilyn Monroe, and it was like she was phenomenal in that. She's been in a handful of other things that have just been great, but this is kind of like a new, at least for me, it's new to see her in this type of role, and it looks fucking great. So I'm stoked for this. I love the John Wick franchise. It's absolutely fantastic, and so just to see a kind of continuance of it in a spin-off that takes place during the events of one of the other movies was just, I think, a cool idea.
It's a super cool idea.
Yeah.
The trailer looks badass. I'm really excited for it. Wasn't Ana de Armas and Keanu Reeves in that Knock Knock movie together?
I don't know if I've seen that.
Kind of
so
like
I'm
a
not sure.
thriller movie. I want to say they were in Knock Knock together.
Okay.
Anyways, the trailer looks great. Shame on me for not seeing these movies.
Yeah.
But
Big shame. I expected more of you, Tim.
I've wanted to
Watch them.
Wanted to, and I
them.
just
you watch thousands of other things every week.
I watch blockbusted movies.
Yeah, exactly. You have time to watch these fantastic pieces of cinema.
Yes, you're 100% right, and
I expect these.
You're not mad. You're disappointed.
I expect this entire franchise to be checked off by the time we do the
Binge
binge
recap
cap
next
next week. Okay.
Fair
okay,
enough.
that's what I expect.
I did it with Final Destination. I can
You
do it with
did.
John Wick.
You did. All right.
All right.
That brings us to, I didn't realize you already changed the slide. I was
Sorry.
waiting for the slide to change, and then I was like, oh, wait, that is a new movie. Okay. So that also brings us to a movie called Dangerous Animals. And this is right up our fucking alley. And
Oh my God, yeah.
I thought it was interesting because the cast is the only person in it that I recognize is Jai Courtney, and I had recognized him from a handful of things. He was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he might have played Snake Eyes in the G.I. Joe movies. I believe he was in that at least because he's like a martial artist.
Yeah.
But he was also in the Suicide Squad. So, anyways, synopsis: when Zephyr, I think is how you pronounce that.
Yep.
A rebellious surfer is abducted by a shark-obsessed serial killer and held captive on his boat. She must figure out how to escape before he carries out a ritualistic feeding to the sharks below. The release date is also June 6, 2025. So we got two what looked like awesome movies coming out on June 6 this year, also in theaters. And it also stars Hassie Harrison and Josh. That's supposed to say Houston. I typoed that. But yeah, the trailer for this is very quick. It's not a long trailer. It doesn't give too much away, but I think it gives just enough for you to be like, "Oh shit!"
It's uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable because it's. I don't know. It has the vibe of just like your everyday average Joe, just like watching something, eating some food, but then there's like screams happening in the background kind of thing, and you're like, what the fuck? And yeah, and then you know like with the synopsis, and you like know what it's kind of all about, and then it's getting the glimpses of around the boat, all of the sharks, and you're just like, holy shit, this is it's kind of it's wild.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it very like just definitely like you said, right up our alley. It's like very uncomfortable and just tense, and then it kind of gives me I think it's 10 Lane Cloverfield vibes, like with John Goodman and they're in the bunker. It just feels like this is like a minimal cast movie, like we've talked before, and holy hell. You got the little trophy case going on, and
oh my god, with like they're like
the
VHS
hair and
tapes, right? With like the girl's name and then a lock of the hair,
and then
very Dexter-esque.
Yeah, I was gonna say
in that regard, at least of like the keeping of a memento of sorts.
Yeah,
it's
and then I just like how the wording between scenes, it just had the water and then blood going across. It was a cool transition.
it was
for that. So really excited for this one. I was also going to put this down. So going over to series, I put this down. We got the 4 seasons. Synopsis is 3 couples, 4 vacations, a lot to unpack. The 4 seasons follows longtime friends through the ups and downs of life over the course of 4 seasonal vacations, spring, summer, fall, winter. Cast is Steve Carell, Tina Fey, Will Forte, Carrie Kenny Silver, Marco Calvani, Erica Henningsen with Coleman Domingo. The release date is May 1st, and platform is Netflix. It's got Steve Carell. It got Tina Fey, Will Forte. I'm down.
Coleman Domingo is a fucking badass actor too. The trailer looks fucking hilarious, and just like just fucking shenanigans left and right, and just all sorts of just wildness happening, and just right up our alley for the comedy side of things.
Absolutely, it's Tina Fey's behind like the directing of this, and she did 30 Rock, or was a big part of 30 Rock, and that's kind of the vibes that I get from this. And Steve Carell, I just love him. So
yeah, it's just
I'm
and Will
super.
Forte, and just oh my gosh, yeah. I was very excited to watch this trailer when I saw you put this on here.
You don't get Steve Carell in a lot of things anymore,
know.
and it's sad.
Yeah.
So just anytime he comes up on the screen, I get a smile on my face.
And there's something about him for me in a series. Like I loved, was it Space Force or whatever?
Oh,
yeah, SpaceX or whatever it was.
Space Force, yeah.
Space Force. Like I loved that show. I was really bummed that it got canceled because I thought it was fucking awesome. So anything with him in a series, like him in movies too, also is awesome. But like just him in a series for me just is amazing, and I'm very excited for this.
Yeah. Did you ever watch? Now I can't think of the name. I think it was called The Patient or something. But it was a series on Hulu, and it had Steve Carell as a therapist, and he gets kidnapped and held in a basement. It was a serious
I've heard
tone.
of this.
It was a really good show.
I've heard of it. I never saw it though. Somebody else was telling me about that at one point.
I want to say it's called The Patient, but it's on Hulu.
Okay.
Look it up. I highly recommend it. It was a very, very good show.
Okay, awesome.
And it takes a different tone than we normally see him in. So
for sure.
that brings us to Fred. Follow-up, rumors, early development.
Heck yeah. Got a couple of things to talk about here.
We got Happy Gilmore 2. We got, well, I guess they call it still a teaser trailer, but
The official
teaser trailer has dropped, and we got an official release date for it, July 25th. What'd you think of it?
It's exactly what I expected it to be, and I am so excited for this movie. I love the original. We have some legacy characters coming back in it, and we got a lot of new characters. There's a lot of actual PGA legit professional golfers in this movie as well. I think the kind of premise of it is like they're on like a kind of getting called back for like a senior tour type thing. And
Yeah.
I think it just makes sense. You get the revealing of the busts.
Is that SpongeBob?
Is that SpongeBob? What's with the beaver teeth? It's fucking hilarious. So,
I love that it feels like it's feeding into the nostalgia of it all.
Absolutely.
It doesn't try to be like, I'm sure it's going to be its own movie and everything, but it also feeds into the nostalgia. It's not like trying to just force a sequel, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, just in the sense of like part of the trailer is he just says, guess I got to find a new happy place.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, cause that was a big part of the first movie. So it just kind of brings that back. You know?
Yeah.
And he's wearing the jersey again and there's all of it. It's just,
this
great.
is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
July 25th can't come soon enough.
exactly.
Together. We've talked about this on our early development.
I did not expect. I don't know what I was expecting from the synopsis of this movie.
This was not
it, and holy fucking shit! Like the hair on the back of my neck was fucking standing up. Like I was like, what is going on right now?
This is
gonna be insane.
Yeah, it's gonna be a slow burn, or what I'm assuming is gonna be a slow burn movie.
I feel like
it's gonna make you feel all
very
sorts of things.
uncomfortable. I feel like it's gonna have a similar, maybe not tone or vibe to it, but it's gonna make you feel similar ways that The Substance did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh god, like I was uncomfortable watching the trailer for this, and like the last scene is like their fucking eyelashes like almost growing, like mending together. Like I don't know. I was just like, oh god, I don't like eyeballs that close. That's fucking weird.
It was so.
Yeah.
But just the music, very minimal words.
Yeah.
And then just ending with, "I love you." I love you too, and then
but like in like a scared, like they've been tortured type of voice.
Yeah,
and they're saying it to each other. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just I love you too. It was I love you.
Yeah,
you know, like it was definitely there's something fucking weird going on. So,
it looks trippy as hell. Yeah. I'm ready to feel all sorts of uncomfortable watching this.
Absolutely,
super excited for that. And we got a release date for that as well, August 1st. So
it's in theaters, I believe.
Yes, out in theaters. So we got a lot to look forward to. And
Jesus,
what a trailer!
Yeah.
What a trailer!
We have a Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot being eyed. A couple things that I read about it was that JT Molnar is interested in directing it, regardless of what company potentially picks up the rights for it. But I also read that Deadline noted that should Molnar get the opportunity to write a script for a new entry into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then megastar Glenn Powell is someone who would like to read it. The combination of Molnar and Powell may not be set in stone just yet, but the report mentions that studios like Lionsgate, A24, Neon, and others are all interested should it come to fruition. In my opinion, that needs to be A24. They're like they're kind of the fucking pillar of that world right now, of just thriller and psychological horror and just that type of shit, in my opinion. But I don't know who the fuck Glenn Powell would play in this, but if he's interested in it, he's also a phenomenal actor too. And then so I just wanted to throw that on there because I know we're both slasher fans, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a different type of slasher, but it's a slasher nonetheless. And one of the OG fucking slasher characters, right? I mean, I want to say the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in like the early 70s.
I think it was 78, 77.
Was it 78? So it was like the same year Halloween came out? Because the first Halloween came out in 78.
Yeah, I think this came out before that, but I'll have to fact check that.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, and
same.
It feels weird that it's already being rebooted, though, because they did release something on Netflix not that long ago of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but
none of the most over the last 15, almost 20 years, none of the ones that have come out have stuck.
Yeah.
So it's I get it, because if they're they want to start a franchise of things that can withstand time, then you have to.
Yeah.
All of the other things that we've gotten over the last, like I said, almost 2 fucking decades now, might be 2 decades, if not longer.
I like the 2003 one with Jessica Biel.
That's over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was also a one-off.
Yeah. Well, they had the beginnings, I want to say, was loosely a sequel to it, but I like those two movies, but it was a long time ago, and you're right.
But it was they had the beginnings, which was a sequel prequel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was also its own one-off story.
True.
It's not I want to see
a franchise.
Yeah. I want to see Halloween 1, Halloween 2, not Halloween 3, because Halloween 3 Season of the Witch was fucking dog shit, but you know what
Careful,
I mean?
There's a cult following behind that movie now.
Well, yeah, because it was about fucking witches, so there probably is a cult following. A bunch of covetous bitches. Anyways. All right, so I put this on here. Triple B Memoriam toast. We lost. It was apparently earlier this month. The brother posted about it just recently. But Jan Schweiderman, we lost earlier this month at the age of 52 to a very aggressive advanced stage 4 case of cancer. And for those of you that don't know who Jan Schweiderman is, he played Kurt Boswell, the villainous Kurt Boswell in Good Burger. So he was the dude running Mondo Burger. And, so I thought you were Kurt. So I just wanted to throw that on there. Yeah. We lost him. And so, in memoriam, cheers to him.
Cheers to him.
Rest in peace. We got our this is our special segment this week. This is the first time we've ever done this specific segment. And we are calling this the Small Screen Sampler. So we're taking a show that we've talked about, something that we have kind of, hyped up a little bit, and we're just watching what has come out of it. And so we said when we first talked about this, which was 3 weeks ago that we were going to do this today, was we needed to watch the first episode of Happy Face, which is the Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, yeah.
The Dennis Quaid playing the Happy Face serial killer. And so it's on Paramount. No, it's on
Paramount
Plus. Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus. There's 2 episodes out right now, and but we're just going to talk about the first one specifically. So what'd you think?
I thought the first episode was really good. Definitely had me intrigued. I was a little little worried at first with the first part of it, but then it definitely caught traction. There's a little slow parts to it, but definitely by the end of the episode, I was like, I need to watch more.
Yep.
I like that there is a mystery part to it, like trying to uncover some further stuff to it, and that's really what got me into it. But Dennis Quaid is a creepy motherfucker. Oh my
God, dude.
I know we've talked about it, but after The Substance and now this he plays
so well.
So well, coming from this like happy-go-lucky father figure and everything to what we've seen him in recently. Holy hell.
What I thought was, and I agree 100%, was like I was watching it at first and I was like, okay, yeah, all right, cool. And then like by the end I was like, all right, I'm definitely watching the second episode. And so I watched the second episode also. And like Lindsay's like in the kitchen and she's like peeking out to watch it because she thought it was interesting too. And so she's kind of into it. But what I thought was interesting was because did you watch the second episode yet?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So at one part during it, the daughter, his granddaughter, Hazel, the main character's daughter, goes to the Seattle Murder Museum. Yeah. Right. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? So I like looked it up because I hadn't looked it up before, but he actually did some of the killings in Washington State. Yeah. And because this is a real person, right? Like this is a dramatized, based on true story type thing. Yep. But I think if you read about it, it's everything that you read about it is like he was for 8 murders, but he has claimed that there's like 160 or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And so like the show is now talking about the 9th. And so it's kind of fictionalizing moving forward with potential.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I love the premise of the show, and kind of like you said with Lindsay, Haley started watching too as well, and she was reading, but then I kept seeing her look up, and then she was like Googling things about it. And,
exactly.
And I was like, this is why I love you.
Yeah.
You researched that for me.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, just closing thoughts on the show. Just the soundtrack to it is a little weird. Like there's some good parts to it, but then there's some weird like cheesy, spooky music going on. And I'm not a big fan of that. But overall, the presentation kind of in the little parts remind me of like Long Legs. It was just a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
But I like the flashbacks. I like the ending of episode 2 with Dennis Quaid just looking at his little wall that he's got going on. I'm ready for the long. I know it's a mini series, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so which is unfortunate, but I'm here for the long haul. So
for sure.
Got me invested in the first 2 episodes.
Yep, I'm excited for it. We got our Blockbusters question of the week this week. I posed this one, and going right off of our small screen sampler with Happy Face just kind of made me think, is there a serial killer? Because I know we're both into that type of shit. Is there a serial killer that you would like to see them make a show about, similar to Happy Face, that you haven't seen them do before? So like based on true events, but fictionalized so it's not like a murder documentary or anything like that. But like one where you have like Dennis Quaid playing the Happy Face killer. You know what I mean? So it's a dramatized Hollywood fictionalized version of it. Yeah. Kind of how we got Zac Efron as Ted Bundy. That type of thing. Yeah. Is there any other serial killers that you can think of or that you have thought would make a good story and movie and or show like that?
Thought the Green River Killer, local here in Washington.
True. Yeah, for sure.
I think that would make for a good show. Plenty of victims to go off of, and that's what I had. I realized, kind of like looking at what has been done. I'm not too deep into the serial killer world and don't know a lot. But that I thought keep it local. This one is kind of local as well. Yeah. And so that's kind of why I was leaning towards the Green River Killer.
Okay, yeah, I think that'd be good. I put down John Wayne Gacy.
Oh yeah.
Said that I'd kind of just copied the blurb off of Wikipedia for this, just so you can get an idea about who it was and why I would think this would be a good one. Is John Wayne Gacy was an American serial killer and sex offender who raped, tortured, and murdered at least 33 young men and boys in Norwood Park Township near Chicago, Illinois. He became known as the Killer Clown due to his job. Like he dressed as a clown for like kids' parties and stuff prior to the like finding out of the crimes that he had committed.
Yeah,
and that was partly how he got like lured some of his victims.
I feel like they might be leaning to a show. I feel like in the Evan Peters show on Netflix, they showed John Wayne Gacy like in a scene. Like maybe they'll do like a spin-off.
Oh, I'd be totally down with that.
So I'm pretty sure that
I know they've
the
done
show.
Like, there's been a handful of documentaries and like the Confessions of a Killer type.
Yeah.
Where you've like heard like prison interview tapes with him and stuff like that. But to my knowledge, I don't know that we have any like fictionalized
so
based on true story
so maybe
dramatization of it.
So maybe the directors of that are gonna lean into that next.
Yeah,
so I want to say it was that show that I saw it in. So yeah, I like the question. Welcome back, brother.
Get out of my way, microphone. Gotta cheers my boy.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, dude.